All right, hopefully this works. Hey guys, I'm not super tech savvy, so this is the best solution I came up with. I made the presentation, but I wanted to add a little bit more of me explaining things. Maybe I'm just arrogant, but I think that I explain things well to my students, so yeah, I just wanted to like have a presence here. So you have a copy of this slideshow. So I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to go slide to slide. But what you can do is minimize this video so you're just hearing my voice and pull up your version of the slideshow. You have your own version. You can edit it. It's not going to mess it up for everyone else, okay? And it's going to ask you questions along the way. So let me go to the next slide. And actually, let me get out of slideshow version. What I want you to do is when it asks you a question, you type it down here where it says speaker notes. La 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 la. Okay, and then at the end of this video and slideshow, you just hit submit on Google Classroom. It'll submit your version of the slideshow and I'll be able to see your answers. Okay, I think that should work. So, okay, all right, so let's start this thing. Okay, as far as scratch boards go, not everyone has access to come here and pick up their scratch board and their scratch tool, so we'll just table that for now. If we come back to school, then we can go back to doing it. If you want it for fun, you can come get it during school hours. I mean, during 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. when the building's open. But we'll just table that for now. We're just going to start something new that I know you can do at home, which is still life. Okay, still life. I am very passionate about still life. Still life painting refers to the genre of painting that uses inanimate objects as a subject matter. Okay, bowls of fruit, plants, flowers, lots of kitchen stuff. You've all seen a still life before. It's a very common form of art. Why do you think artists have been painting still lifes for hundreds of years? Why do you think it's so common? Pause the video, type in your answer down below in the speaker notes. I'm not grading you on if your answer is correct. I'm grading you on thinking about it. Why do you think artists paint still life so often? Bowls of fruit. Now, obviously, I'm going to go on to this slideshow, and I'm going to time myself so I don't like go on forever. What am I saying? Oh, obviously, I'm going to go on to the slideshow to tell you why artists, some reasons why artists use still life. Me personally, I use still life. Okay, but I wanted you to think about it on your own. Number one, still life. You can set it up and it doesn't move. Okay, nature moves, landscapes move, people move. Your inanimate objects, they don't move. So you can just look at them and paint them. That's probably the number one reason why it started. But there's a lot more reasons now. Okay, historically, you've probably seen still lifes like this, a collection of objects. A skull is often present. Okay, this is a tradition called vanitas. And it originated in 17th century Denmark, okay? And I actually studied this a lot in my master's program. My thesis was about it. I find it very fascinating. But all of these objects have meaning. And the first thing they wanted us to see is that life is fleeting. We all die someday. Everything dies. And so they use those objects like a skull to represent death, to remind us, okay, may be good in this life, use this life, and because it will end sometime. Flowers, although they're beautiful, like life, these flowers are already dead. They have already been cut from the plant. They are dying as we speak. They're at their peak of their beauty. Some of them are already sagging and going to die, okay? And then other objects symbolize worldly or immoral activities, things they thought were wrong, and that, you know, it was kind of as a warning, you know, you better behave yourself in this life because you're going to die. Other objects symbolize wealth, okay? focusing on, you may be rich now, but again, everyone dies. And then some objects represent education, you may think you're really good at, you may think you're really smart or really talented, but again, we're all going to die. It seems really dark, but I find it very fascinating. All these objects have a meaning. Now, I told you some of them, but there are some questions here. Find some objects in this picture that represent worldly or immoral activities. Find some objects that symbolize wealth. Find some objects that symbolize the fleeting nature of life. Now, one of my favorite artists, still life artists, is Adrian Van Utrecht. This painting, I got to see it in real life. It is huge. It is ginormous, which is why I included in the slideshow a link to Wikipedia page where you can just zoom in and see how close you can just see everything here. And you can see how beautiful these objects are painted. Again, it's like kind of grotesque. It's a bunch of dead animals. And what's so fascinating about these paintings is that they're painted so beautifully. You can't look away and just look at how realistic everything is, all the detail. But yet, it's so beautiful, but it's also a little grotesque, all these dead animals there, and it's dark. It's reminding you about death. All right. Okay, so let's stop talking about history and now talk about contemporary still life. Contemporary means today, now. Still life is alive and well today. I mean, it's actually kind of trendy, I feel like. Now, this may look historical at first glance. It has some similarities to the Dutch still life paintings, which I will ask you, how is it similar to the Vanitas paintings? So at first glance, it may look like a historical painting, but when you start looking closer, there are some differences. You start to see what kinds of foods do you see. I think these are sticky buns. I'll just tell you some of these. We've got some grilled cheese sandwiches, some French fries, some boiled eggs. I think it's coffee and maybe some, like 2 Cokes. I think that's what it is, coffee and 2 Cokes. And then ketchup. Now, this artist, Matt Collishaw, this comes from his series called Last Meal series, and he researched, so when a prisoner is on death row, it means they've been sentenced to death. Before they get sentenced to death, they get to request one last meal, and they get to request what to eat for that last meal. And so he took some of the real life requests from death row inmates and makes still lifes out of them. So a real death row inmate, someone who has been executed now, this was the meal he requested. So my question for you is, why do you think the artist chose this as his subject matter? Why do you think he chose these death row inmates' meals? And what do you think he's trying to say about society? And I'll give you a hint. He's talking about the death penalty, which is kind of controversial. Some people agree we should do it. Some people don't. Every state has different laws about it. And actually, this tradition of the last meal isn't really offered in all states anymore. So what do you think he's trying to say about the death penalty in this series? So pause the video, put your answers in the comments down below. Man, I realized I'm like way into this, so I realize this is going to be kind of long, but I'm not posting like a long video like this every single day that you have to watch. So hopefully you can find something to watch it in the next few days. Rebecca Scott, her series is called Perfect Life, and she is inspired or gets her images from women's magazines. So what do you think she's trying to say with the title Perfect Life? This is artist Cindy Wright. So what you're seeing here is a dead fish forced into a fishbowl. What do you think she wants us to feel when we look at this? Okay. Why do you think she wants us to feel this way? How do you think she feels? Let me give you a hint. How do you think she feels about people eating animals. Now, this is getting kind of political. I'm giving you no opinion on this. I eat meat, okay? So don't get all mad at me if you like. Liberal Mrs. Larson. Artists are liberal. Okay. Artist David Cahill. What do you think is happening in this painting? So another question I might insert is what does this painting have in common with the Vanitas tradition, the Dutch still life paintings that have the skull in it? What do you think the artist is trying to tell us? What? Okay, so enough kind of dissecting other artists. Now I'm going to give you some ideas that you can do. Now, okay, so yes, you are going to be making a still life, and we're going to try photography first, and then the goal is to replicate it with drawing or painting. We'll probably, if all you have at home is a pencil, then you can do it in pencil. If you have other materials at home, you can do it in other materials. We will talk about that when we get there, probably after spring break. Before spring break, we'll just focus on photography, taking the photos of your still life, okay? If it turns out your pictures don't turn out so great, you can always set up your still life and draw your still life directly from life. So we'll just see how things go, okay? But here are some ideas of what you can do for your still life, okay? Still life doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be bowls of fruit. It can be literally any inanimate object, which I think you saw from the other pictures. Okay, so one thing you can do is create a mood. What kind of mood do you think is present in this painting? In this photograph? Disgust. Yes, disgust. That's legitimate. You can just create a disgusting still life. This artist, Klaus Pichler, is actually from a series called 1/3, and it's all rotting food. And what this says is that, I think it's called 1/3 because he said like 1/3 of the world's food is wasted. And so it's him trying to, say something about the waste in our society. So, all right, you can create something unexpected. This artist is Omar Sosa, and he creates these bizarre still lifes of being stacked and balanced like loaves of artisan bread. So you can create something unexpected. Interesting. Oh, my phone's going off, sorry. You can create something novel, or novel means out of this world, something you wouldn't expect. All different beautiful forms of tape, okay? And all taped together in a weird sculptural thing, okay? Unexpected, novel, interesting. You can do something humorous. That's my favorite. Toothpaste on a hot dog. Yeah. Something also unexpected, possibly disgusting, but I think it's mostly funny to look at. It's kind of a joke. Like, no one's expecting you to really eat that. It's a joke. It's like, oh, I put toothpaste on, like ketchup and mustard. A mood. What's the mood here? Creepy. All right. Or threatening. Yeah. But really, you use a knife to cut an apple all the time. It shouldn't be creepy, just a knife and an apple, but the way it's stabbed in there, the dark background, makes it look like. All right. You can choose objects that have something in common, like a color scheme, all these orange foods. It's gorgeous, and plus an orange background. Just go around your house, choose objects that have color, and I don't know, there's just something that we like about looking at a monochromatic color scheme. It's just pleasing to look at. You can create a narrative. What do you think happened in this painting? Pickle jar broke, someone got cut. There's no blood, but we see band-aids, so we can figure someone got cut. Okay, so you can create, this is what I love about still life. You can say so much, you can create so many different results just with objects. It doesn't have to be boring. It can tell a story. It can be weird. It can be funny. I just love still life because it can be whatever you want it to be. And you don't have to get caught up drawing people. Been there, done that. All right. Discomfort. This is, I got to do a reverse image search on some of these and find the artist. Some of them I don't have the artist name because I saved these pictures a long time ago and didn't save the artist name. But okay, this squash looks like it's about to fall over and crack that egg and tip over that spoon. So it's uncomfortable to look at. I'm done with it. A common theme, I was thinking more something like, I got all my lipsticks and I made a still life of all lipstick, you know, something that they all have in common. Or something you use, say, you know, it could be stuff to make cookies. Say you're making cookies and you kind of make an arrangement of your ingredients. This one, I think, I kind of see a theme of like Latin America. These, some of you could correct me, but, oh yeah, this says litro. So this is, yeah, South American or Central American Pepsi and pastries. Okay, so on this slide, I want you to come up with 3 ideas you could do at home for a still life. And I want you to choose from these goals. So, do you want to tell a story? Do you want to choose a theme or objects that are similar? Do you want something with cultural meaning? I'll talk about that in a minute. Do you want to create an emotion? What emotion do you want to create? And then list down below, I want to tell a story. So here's my examples. I could create the emotion of disgust by making a still life out of gross food combinations. I'd want you to be even more specific than that, but what I do is I personally go through my fridge and the food that's about to go to waste that I'm going to throw away anyway, I take it out and put it all together in a still life and disgusting stuff. More on that later, okay? So choose one of these and then expand on it. Tell me what your plan is. Be specific about what objects you would use and how you'd set them up to create that emotion or meaning or whatever. Okay. Something with meaning. Let's talk about this. This timer. Whoa, I'm going on 14 minutes. Sorry, guys. This timer right here. Say the Queen of France gave it to me, and it just means so much to me because she gave that to me, okay? Now, that has personal meaning. To everyone else, it's a timer, okay? So your still lives, be careful about personal meaning because it just won't mean anything to anyone else except for you. Now, you're not artists, you're art students, so if you just want to do personal meaning, that's fine, but I want to tell you the difference. Now, cultural meaning is something we can all agree upon, means something about our shared cultural experience. Society right now is sharing an experience with this virus and not wanting to spread it, wanting to be cautious, having some fear and panic, just the unexpected, the unknown, new situations, right? It just comes with so much. Right now, we can all agree that these have a common shared cultural meaning. This means something to everyone right now, okay, to society, not just me personally. Does that make sense? That's what I mean by cultural meaning. So choose objects that can say something about society as a whole, not just you personally. Okay, and then I started this slideshow a long time ago for a different thing, and I just found this slideshow right here. Ori Gercht, it's not really relevant to what we're doing right now, but it's fun to watch. He's a still life artist who makes still life videos, not photographs, and this is an interview with him that explains like what his work is about. But this slide was already put all together, so I just left it on there so you could see. Someone's knocking at my door, so I better finish this video. But you can just look, that's optional to look at. But the videos, the links to the videos are there. They're pretty cool looking. Okay, it's 2 minutes and my lights just went off and someone's knocking at my door, so I better stop. Just submit. Okay. I already said what to do. Goodbye.